All right, welcome to our very first virtual rent party. I am your host, Rickey Brown. I have a very special guest with me today. I have Miss
Tamica Barnett.
Tamica Barnett, Commissioner of Education, Syracuse City Firewoman, and the owner of Want Smoke BBQ, a new catering business that opened up in the last year in Syracuse. Tamica, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business?
So Wants Smoke BBQ and Catering, I founded it maybe in March. How I came to the conclusion that this is what I wanted to do. I have a background in cooking. My family is all about food and bringing people together. My grandmother is actually, like on my father's side, Judy Barnett. Like you could always go to her house for a meal. You didn't have to be family, but she treated everybody as if they was family. Like literally she had 2 or 3 people that lived in her house when I was a kid, like once all of her kids were adults, but she would cook food to prepare for the whole neighborhood. And at some point in my life, I have been transpiring into that person. So, you know, once I was financially able, when I cook, I would cook a bunch of food. And it's not just cooking, like I grill. Like I am a female that enjoys barbecuing, and not just barbecuing, I smoke food. Like I spend 8 hours at a time smoking meat and inviting people over, and then just the camaraderie of bringing people together over a very good meal. And from that, people start asking me to cook for their events. So like, you know, for years, I prepared food for people just because it's something that I truly enjoy doing. And then like one day, like the light bulb just went off, like this is something that I can see myself doing. Like it's not considered work for me. It's something that I genuinely enjoy. Like, and I put a lot of love into it and people appreciate it.
And that passion, I gotta tell you, translates. I've seen a lot of your community work, and in fact, the way that I came to know you was through a lot of the events for you cooking for kids. I love the fact that your business plays off your part-time job, which is as a city fireman, but you became sort of a grill master. You're in a genre of cooking that not a lot of women have mastered in that way. You're embarrassing a lot of men, by the way, too, with your city fireman job. Now you're a grill master. Why don't you tell us how you specialized in that form of cooking and how that gave birth to your business?
Honestly, I have to give credit to my father because like I don't have any brothers. So like, you know, and I'm the youngest. So I was the one where it was kind of like if he was going fishing, I was going fishing. If he was out on the grill grilling, I was out on the grill grilling. And then over time, like I was able to perfect it in a way and incorporate so many other cultures, which like diversity I learned in college from having roommates from other ethnicities, and then like with the fire department learning other cultures and bringing it all together. And what I learned is everybody loves barbecue. Everybody respects good food. And how I knew that I can cook for the masses is for the past 10 years, I've been running the Biddy basketball program over on the east side. So, you know, initially when I took over, I played in the program as a child. And then once I went to college, I came back and coached. The Boys and Girls Club lost funding, so I took over the program, and literally everything we did was out of pocket. So at the end of the season, when all of these other organizations are having big fancy banquets, we couldn't afford to do it. So I would literally go to the grocery store, cook food for about 300 people, and have a big banquet inside of the gym at the Boys and Girls Club. And I remember the Brown Skin Band used to volunteer when they were forming to play, and had the parents and the kids dancing. And that's how I knew that once I decided to do this, that I can cook for large masses and the food be delicious. Some people are very good at cooking small portions. So like naturally, like even when I cook now, I have a hard time cooking for small portions. Like it's much easier for me to cook for 200 people than it is to prepare a meal for 3. So all of my roles in the community kind of tied together at some point in my life. And honestly, I blame the pandemic because I had the time to actually sit down and think about it. Like everything that I do, like the famous firehouse meals, like I'm a Syracuse firefighter, so I cook at work a lot. And in cooking at work, you also learn other things from other cultures and how they cook. And you just bring it all together and incorporating the kids and cooking for the masses and the barbecue and the family ties and how you can bring people together over food. And for me, if you do something that you truly and love doing and enjoy doing it, it's not a job. So they're looking at it like, who wants smoke? You're so busy, it's more work. But honestly, like, this is a stress reliever for me. I can cook all day long and be stress-free in my own little world. Like, I put so much love and detail into it and presentation that every aspect of what I do, I put 100% in. From like prepping to preparing it, to cooking it, to presenting it, cleaning up after, making sure I have the supplies that I need, and making sure that the customer is fully satisfied. And the good thing about like starting a new business is that you have the flexibility and the capacity to be better. You just have to be open to listen to people. So for me, like, I kind of hit the ground running with Who Wants Smoke. So I wouldn't be being honest if I said I didn't make mistakes. Things weren't always correct. But the way people respect me, like, we had conversations and I was able to receive the information and adjust and build my brand into something that the community fully supports and respects. And I think that's part of the reason why people respect me the way that I do, because I don't necessarily get defensive when things are not right. Like, or if it's perceived, like, I could believe I'm 100% right, but in business, the customer is pretty much, they're always right. Even if I feel like they're wrong, I try to figure out a way, like, okay, so how can we make this better? And people respect you for it, so.
And I have to say, I absolutely love the way your passion for cooking and your community work are infused together. One, you're able to offer something to the community that not a lot of women were doing or producing. To birth a business in the middle of a pandemic is something of an incredulous feat by itself. But I was very impressed at the way that your business came out of the gate. You invested a lot, and you can see that. Where did that passion come from, just in terms of readying your business? It looked so professional for me when it debuted. I saw the investment that you had made in the business, and it really looked like you had put some time, thought, and effort into making sure that this would be a business that wasn't just about being a hobby, but that this was going to be a long-term business endeavor for you. Where did that come from?
And that's the thing, like, I attend a lot of events, so I think that helped me to understand what I want it to look like. Because I've attended events that I thought there was poor presentation. I attended events that I thought was great. And then on a financial scale, I've attended events that there were $300 tickets, and I've been to places where there was 10. And my goal is, with the community that we live in, I want to give people the best service that I can for a reasonable amount of money. Like, everything that I give them, I want them to feel like that this is the best. Like, you came to the best spot, you got the best resources, we got the best possible outcomes, the most bang that you're gonna get for your buck, the food, the linen, the tables, if you need servers, our presentation as servers. And it's just a thing that I take great pride in, like, because that's free marketing. Like, you get somebody that pay you to work, to do an event for them, and you do a great job, they're gonna tell their friends about you. And they're gonna tell other people, so when you do a good job, you naturally gain a greater audience. So word of mouth. And then the investment for me, like, I didn't have any handouts, I didn't get any grant money, like, I didn't inherit a bunch of family money, it's all hustle. So I literally had to take my time, because I had to do it when it was financially responsible for me to do it. And I had to do what I was able to do on a timeline. Like, I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to come out the gate and release Who Wants Smoke and everything be perfect if I tried to do it all at once. So I did things in stages. Like, I knew there was a series of things I needed to purchase. So over the course from, like, March, April, May, like, I didn't have my official kickoff until August, but my business was operating in March. But it's just so much stuff that I wanted to have before I officially launched. So I wanted to be prepared in a way that the day that I launched, if somebody wanted to hire me to cater their wedding, I was ready to do it. I had the supplies that I needed and the resources that I needed. And, starting from the bottom, like, it's all financials. It all came out of my savings account. Like, I didn't get any handouts. And so I take great pride in that. It's all hustle. Hustle and muscle.
I love it. So why don't you tell us where we can get Who Wants Smoke BBQ? I first saw you on social media, and immediately, again, my first impression was like, wow, where does she get the time, energy, and passion to put into a business that's this well developed? And the next thing I knew, it sort of took off. I see the popularity. The community is 100% behind you. Where did that come from?
So basically, I am operating out of the With Love Teaching Kitchen, and I appreciate their name because everything that I do is with love. I put so much love into it, but it's located at 435 North Salina Street, and the space is amazing. And like when COVID opens back up, like people could literally come there and order food as if I'm a restaurant and I'm having an event. So currently, that's where I am. The misunderstanding that I've had in the community is because I'm hosting pop-ups, because for me, I can't start a catering business and expect people to just, okay, I'm gonna hire you for this baby shower or wedding or bridal shower if no one's ever tasted my food. So my goal with these pop-up events, which is defined as I'm gonna cook a lot of food and you can come and sample it, basically. And from that, like I host a series of events. So there was a misunderstanding in the community, like, oh, well, when's the next pop-up? People just wanted to come and buy food like individual dinner plates. But the goal is for you to sample my food and talk about it. So when your relatives or anybody's having an event, they'd be like, oh, well, I know a caterer and I actually had her mac and cheese and I had her chicken and it's good. I really like this off her menu, so that you have a reference point when you have your events and you're not blindsided like, oh, well, she's a caterer, but I don't really know what it's like. So once a month, I'm hosting these pop-up events and I change my menu, but I specialize in smoked ribs and grilled chicken, barbecue food, hands down. And my sides are usually soul food with the yams, not candy yams. We're cutting up yams, the baked mac and cheese, and the collard greens with the smoked turkey necks. But then also I've been open to like stuff that I cook at home. Like I grill vegetables, the zucchini and the squash, and people like, they look at my videos and like, oh, well, we want that. So I'm able to add more stuff to the menu, because initially my problem is I'm so widespread in the things that I can prepare. Like if we're gonna do Who Wants Smoke, I struggle with sticking just to barbecue. Like you see what I'm saying? I'm like, who wants smoke? So, but I'm smoking salmon. Like I prepared full meals all out on the smoker. So, and that's the little twist. Like, yeah, we got veggies, but they're grilled. I'm grilling the corn. Even if I do seafood, the boils, the crab legs, the scallops is all gonna be prepared on the grill. And I think for me, that's what's changing the game. I'm not making just a garden salad. I'm grilling romaine hearts with fresh crumbly blue cheese and balsamic vinaigrette, things that are a little bit outside of the box than what we're used to, but still got the soul flavor and the smoke.
I love that you've incorporated so many different business approaches. One, you hit on the fact that you don't actually have a brick and mortar business, what's known as brick and mortar, no establishment, but you're still able to reach your audience, primarily, I would presume, through social media. So one of the things that I wanted to get out to our audience is, one, how do they reach you? Is social media the best way to schedule a catering opportunity?
We have social media, we have our website, we have email.
Why don't you give us your website?
Our website is just www.whowantssmokebarbecue.com. I'm trying to forward more people to that. I'm trying to do my orders online through the website, because once you order from me once, then we have your email, and that's another form of communication so that you can get advertisements and discount codes and things of that nature. Just trying to build a solid base of followers so that I can grow. Like I have a plan, I have a 5-year plan, I have a 10-year plan. Like the goal is for Who Wants Smoke to be something so genuine in Syracuse that like I don't even want to get into it.
And so in terms of inspiring other business owners, you've mentioned a few things that I think, again, hit on some very solid business points. You borrowed no money to start your business. You do not have a brick and mortar, which eliminates a lot of overhead for your business. You use social media as a primary form of reaching your target audience. Free marketing. Any other inspiration that you can give to potential business owners that are looking at starting any kind of business, and what led to your success?
The only thing I would say is sometimes you have to take classes, like you have to take courses, and you have to reach out to people that's done it before. One of the things that I wasn't afraid to do was to reach out to people that already had stuff established, so that like I'm a firm believer that like I don't have to make all the mistakes myself. So if there's somebody that's went through this process and has faced hiccups, like I literally called them. Like I reached out to Shelly from Chisoles. I've reached out to Kiwi Streets. I've reached out to It's Time to Eat, Wainwright, and it's just because they were already businesses within the city of Syracuse that were established, and I was trying to establish mine. And so for me, it's kind of like I wanted to know what problems they had so that I did not have to have those problems. So if anything, like with me, I'm open to helping people. I took the Serve Safe class, which helped me a lot. Like, we think we know everything about food, but you literally, like, and that's one of the requirements with the establishment that I chose to use, the With Love. Like, they want to build you into your own brand, so they put guidelines in place to help you better yourself. So in taking the class, I learned a lot more about the temperatures of food and the rules and regulations before I even reached out to the health department for a permit. So I knew so much about the background of meats and vegetables versus seafoods, allergies and things of that nature before I even decided to launch. Like, I'm not just gonna start a business and use the same knife cutting up, you know, shrimp that I'm gonna use on vegetables. And it was a lot. Like, and some of the stuff I knew, but there was some stuff that I picked up. So words of encouragement that I would give somebody is that, like, you can do anything you put your heart to. Like, if you are set and that's what you want to do, then figure out how to get it done. Don't focus on what needs to be done. Focus on the process, on how you get it done, and you'll get a lot further.
I will wrap this up with this piece for me here. And it was beautiful to hear you shout out the other businesses that you had worked with. I think it lends so much to who you are as a person, as a community leader, as a business owner, that you are able to reach out to other restaurateurs, catering businesses, and they would freely provide you advice. In an era and in a time where people are ultra competitive, we're not always helpful of each other in that space, but that is such a beautiful thing to hear. And I know how much you give back to the community, that the community is reciprocating in a way back to help out your business. I just want to say again, thank you for everything that you do, not only as a city fireman, but being involved with the educational system. I've watched you work with our children, the Biddy basketball program, for a number of years. The Cheeto bags that you used to have.
Oh, the walking tacos.
So I've watched your cooking evolve from these $5 Cheeto bags, whatever they were called, right?
The walking tacos.
The walking tacos, and raising money through that to now becoming a permanently established business again, whose success we can all, champion. Thank you so much for everything you do and for taking the time to come down and sit with us. One more time for the audience, why don't you tell us again how they can reach you and where they can find Who Wants Smoke BBQ?
Hi. You can reach me at area code 315-395-8134. That's my business cell phone number. We are on Facebook. It's called Who Wants Smoke BBQ and Catering. You can reach us. My website is www.whowantssmoke315.com. And we're pretty much all over social media. I have my website, and I have a pop-up scheduled for Sunday, January 17th. So those orders are actually up and ready to go. So if you want smoke, you know who to call.
Tamica Barnett, the hottest thing in the catering business. Who Wants Smoke? Thank you so much for coming out. Really enjoyed your time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys doing this for the businesses within the Syracuse community. Absolutely. It means a lot.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Woo.